The story begins with a man in his 40s named Jeff, a solitary figure, tired and bored of the monotonous life he leads. He's struggling to make ends meet, barely able to pay rent for his tiny apartment, and has no friends or family to turn to. To escape his dreary reality, he's turned to energy drinks and virtual reality games, particularly one called Killer Road, which involves battling zombies in the streets. Living in Montreal, Jeff suddenly finds a glimmer of hope, a job offer from a top-rated game studio in Toronto. Determined to impress the interviewer, he sets out to hack their famous Killer Road VR game in a daring way. He decides to connect the game to his AI-powered car assistant, allowing him to play the game while driving in real streets through his VR glasses, which was not only illegal, but also incredibly dangerous. But Jeff wasn't in a stable state. He's desperate to prove his worth to the game studio and to the colleagues who have left him behind. The journey from Montreal to Toronto was filled with anticipation. Jeff had managed to hack the Killer Road game and had created something beyond anyone's wildest dreams. With the augmented reality features, he had created an experience like no other, where the game world merged with reality. He takes his VR glasses out on the road, playing the game for a few moments before switching it off. But when he tries it again after arriving in Toronto, things started to change. The game's intensity had reached a new level, and he was struggling to differentiate between the virtual and the real world. The CN Tower stood tall in front of him, and he was convinced that it was a part of the game. Jeff had lost touch with reality, and the consequences were dire. A glitch in the system causes disaster. Suddenly, Jeff's virtual reality world bleeds into the real world, causing a game character to overlap with a real pedestrian. Jeff, lost in his virtual world, mistakes a young woman, just an innocent pedestrian, for a zombie, and hits her with his car. Its pre-crash system got delayed and couldn't stop in time before the accident, but after a few seconds, it stopped eventually. It's clear that Jeff is not at fault, but the glitch in the system has changed everything. He is now responsible for causing a real catastrophic accident, and the consequences will be severe. Jeff's life will never be the same again. I thought she was a zombie, Jeff stammers, trying to explain his actions. I'm not some crazy lunatic. I was lost, consumed by my own desperation. It was a glitch, just one glitch. It wasn't my fault. As the sun sets on the city, Jeff finds himself in a courtroom facing accusation of trespassing and misuse of virtual reality technology. The game studio, the factory responsible for the car he drove, and a young woman who was injured during the accident have all filed complaints against him. But this was no ordinary trial. Jeff was not just facing human lawyers and psychologists, but also AI experts and lawyers. The court recognized the seriousness of Jeff's case and decided to send him to an institute that specializes in VR mental and physical health problems. Jeff was diagnosed with a rare form of schizophrenia compounded by a condition that experts call reality shock. This condition is characterized by an acute confusion between objective reality and augmented reality. Jeff's prolonged exposure to AI devices, especially for gaming and creating virtual worlds, had triggered this debilitating condition. They found by reviewing Jeff's memories that he has this rare schizophrenia which causes sometimes saw his AI assistant as a real person. He even has many dialogues with her and called her Samantha. The court ordered that Jeff was no longer allowed to drive through the AR parts of the city, and his fully featured AI contact lenses were confiscated. Even the AI assistant in his car had locked the AR parts of the map, preventing him from getting too close to that area. Instead, Jeff was forced to rely on autonomous driving, monitored by his doctor and the investigation team. To make matters worse, Jeff's doctor Nicole was convinced that any exposure to AR would only serve to further confuse his mind. She forbade Jeff from even enjoying the simple pleasures like an AR public drive-in cinema, the only old habit that he has always. Jeff's frustration only mounted as he found himself constantly stopped by the police for mental and vision checks and even his drive history. Back to the first day, Jeff undergoes mandatory treatment at a healthcare center's neurology unit. A nurse informs him that he must accept the treatment contract, which is printed on his wrist as a barcode containing his confidential data, biodata, and other important information for further steps, as well as an accessibility for the Meta Police Department. Jeff realizes the seriousness of the situation. His neurologist Nicole asks him to use an eye drop containing nanobots and gives him another eye drop to use twice a day to help them work smoothly. Jeff was uneasy about the ease with which his data was accessed and monitored. He discovered that Nicole would be able to see whatever he sees and hears whatever he hears during the day. Nicole wasn't alone. She has an AI doctor assistant, a colleague named Catherine, which was always there as a hologram. After a few months at the Institute, Jeff returns to his new apartment in Toronto, but continues his treatment. He misses simple things from life, like enjoying meals at a restaurant with old friends who live in different time zones and ate their different meals every Saturday night, but not anymore, thanks to what he had done. While grocery shopping, Jeff learns that reality check has weakened his sense of taste. He can no longer enjoy the foods as everything tastes the same. He has been subsisting on supplements and liquids for the past few months and didn't realize his taste had diminished. He can even remember the different recipes for fruits and veggies and grains. Jeff used to rely on Samantha for help with grocery shopping, but she's no longer there. He misses Samantha dearly. Jeff discovers he's never been outside the area of the city and is shocked by the rundown appearance of everything. The people look depressed and exhausted. The buildings are old, and there are no fancy ads around. Even the street signs are different. However, he can still use the side streets to park his car, which are not designated Meta parking slots.